What's good, y'all? It's the one and only King Cow 516 live in the mix, and this is the Swiss Flame Podcast. Be sure to check us out on our website, www.swissflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Swiss Flames, and definitely check out the Facebook, YouTube page at Swiss Flames Podcast. We definitely appreciate your support. Please hit the like, subscribe, and the notification tab to stay up to date with all things Swiss Flames Podcast. So, we had news drop yesterday that the Milwaukee Bucks are dropping Boogie Cousins. And for those of you that follow this channel, you know that not too long ago, we had a podcast episode where we were praising the Milwaukee Bucks on playing chess by signing Boogie Cousins. But now they do the complete opposite. So we definitely want to dive into this and discuss this matter at hand. So Boogie Cousins is being let go. He played about 17 games. And I'll admit and be honest, it was a rough start for Boogie in the beginning. But I felt like a lot of that had to do with the fact that he didn't have an offseason enter in the season with the new team to kind of get acclimated. He was kind of just thrown into fire as the season was already in progress, and also just get into game shape. So I felt that combination of those things led to Boogie's slow start, and it just seemed like the Bucks were playing him very sporadically and were trying to figure out how they were going to implement him. But it felt like Boogie was starting to get his bearings, and he was starting to get very acclimated, and I felt like he was playing good. He played about 17 games for the Bucks, and he averaged close to 9 points with about 5.5 rebounds coming off the bench, backing up Bobby Portis, who they've been playing at center. We know the Bucks had a rough start, a lot of injuries. One of the main reasons for them bringing on Boogie was because Brook Lopez, who they thought wasn't going to be out as long, ended up having to get surgery. And that was kind of around the time they got Boogie, once they knew like Brook Lopez was going to be out for a longer period of time. So, Demarcus Cousins was supposed to come in and kind of provide similar things that Brook Lopez provided, at least on the offensive end, because we know that he's not as good defensively as Brook Lopez, but he's supposed to be a big body to be a presence, help them rebound, spread the floor a little bit, get some post-up points when needed. You know what I'm saying? Give them a force inside. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, after the rough start, Boogie started figuring it out. Even if you look at the last game, which is amazing, because on Wednesday they played the Raptors and they lost. The Bucks lost, but Boogie had like 15 points, 10 rebounds. So his production is showing you that he still can produce given an opportunity. So I was pretty much surprised. A lot of this, it seemed like what the general manager of the Bucks was saying was that they value just having that flexibility, open roster spot. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes teams might kind of get wind of a certain player maybe coming available, so there might be a move down the line that we might see coming to fruition, and then we'll be like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. But we don't know right now, but it just seemed kind of odd because, like I said, Boogie was starting to roll with them. And, I just feel like Boogie has had just the worst of luck the last 3 or 4 seasons, whether it's just like a random injury or just not working out with teams. You look at him signing with Houston last year and then he having to leave. And then he went to the Clippers where they use him, but he was used sporadically. So Boogie's just not been able to get his footing and bearing with the team that he can kind of solidify himself again. And unfortunately for him at this point in his career, it may be hard for that to happen now because teams are looking at him differently. Then teams are not valuing him the same way like he used to be valued. And so it was just a real unfortunate situation when you see the rise and kind of fall of Boogie Cousins, man. So I hope that he gets on the team soon. Already the rumors going to fly about the Lakers, but the Lakers, although they could use somebody like Boogie, I don't know if they're going to be able to make that happen, but we'll see what happens because the Lakers with their cap situation, it looks like they're saving that roster spot possibly for Stanley Johnson. It looks like they're trying to see what they can do in the trade deadline. I think if the Lakers are able to move DeAndre Jordan, because they're not just going to drop DeAndre Jordan because it would hit them too much on the salary to drop him and still have to pay him and then add somebody, they'll get hit with so much luxury tax that the Lakers don't want to move like that. I think the only way you see Boogie Cousins hit the Lakers is if they're able to move DeAndre Jordan and provide another extra roster spot, because the roster spot they have available now I think belongs to Stanley Johnson, even though they signed him to a 10-day contract. But I think with that roster spot, the Lakers are obviously prioritizing at the moment. It looks like a wing defender versus a big. So because they're playing small ball, and Stanley Johnson, they really like him. So I think the Lakers would have to get rid of another roster spot, preferably DeAndre Jordan, Kent Bazemore, but I think more likely DeAndre Jordan, right? I don't think they want to have 3 bigs on the team plus AD. You know what I mean? So because of that, I really do believe that we'll see what team, but it would have to be a contender in my opinion. Maybe the Heat because Bam has been out. Who knows? But I hope Boogie will get to a team very soon, but it's going to most likely be a contender. None of these young teams are going to battle him. So we'll see what happens with Boogie Cousins. I hope he finds a team because, like I said, I feel like Boogie has been getting a bad rap. And I feel like the spots he goes, when he does play, he shows he still has the juice. So he needs to be on a veteran team that has great leadership and that can just let Boogie be Boogie on a team. And we'll see what happens with that said. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Boogie Cousins ordeal. What's your opinions on it? It's your boy King Kyle 516 signing off. This has been the Switch Flame Podcast, y'all.